Hey guys, welcome back. It's Kitty, and tonight I just felt like playing some Minecraft and talking. I mean, kind of a weird night for me. Very hard past few days, just mental health wise. And somebody whose channel is all mental health focused, well, for the most part, it can get a little conflicting sometimes. Because I share a lot of stuff to help people with their mental health, and then when I continue to struggle with mine, I feel a little funny. Even though I know it's impossible to have perfect mental health no matter who you are, I still feel a little strange, like, I don't know, talking about all these things and then still having trouble. I just thought it'd be nice to just have a chat. I mean, we might talk about some mental health, some life things. I mean, the state of the world is crazy right now. I'm sure, we're all a little uncomfortable, to say the least, with it. So I think it can be good to just say what's on your mind and enjoy some time together. So I hope you'll enjoy this gameplay. I'm on the Seymour SMP tonight, working on my base. So just gonna be doing some building. I think this is gonna be like an instrument room maybe. It's just gonna be mostly unedited. I just want this to be a raw, nice chat to have. Something I've been thinking about lately and trying to readjust my mindset of is when you kind of almost expect bad things. And I've learned that because I've had a lot of bad things. So my brain has just kind of conditioned itself to expect that nonstop all the time. And, there might be some logic behind it, because obviously I learned that pattern from somewhere, but that's not a healthy way to go about living, and just because that's the way things were, doesn't mean that's the way things are always going to be. And I'm only doing myself a detriment by allowing myself to expect things to be bad. And I bet a lot of you guys can relate to that as well. We just kind of get accustomed to negative, and it becomes so routine that we just expect it, and it becomes our norm, because some of it we seem to just put upon ourselves because we don't try to not have the bad, if that makes sense. So, hope can go one of two ways. You can hope for good, or you can, basically you're hoping for bad when you expect the bad to happen. So a lot of it just really needs to be reframing our mindset and making sure we're intentional about what we're telling ourselves, because just like if we were to talk to our friend or our sibling or anybody, our brains are listening to what we say. As weird as that kind of sounds, we hear whatever we think and whatever we tell ourselves. So if you wouldn't tell a friend or a family member or somebody you love the things that you tell yourself, the things that you think, then as a general rule of thumb, you shouldn't be telling yourself that either. You gotta look out for yourself, and that doesn't come naturally for everybody. For me, it's a little different. As a kid, especially, I feel like we're not so hard on ourselves, and then as time goes on, we just get more negative. And like I said before, some of it makes sense why we have that problem. It doesn't mean we want to just let it keep happening. Side note, what do you guys think I should name these doggies? This guy's got some armor. He's the only one I've ever used armor on. So I feel like we often limit ourselves because we just don't think we can do things that we haven't done before. But if you live with that mindset, then you're never gonna get anywhere. So at some point you have to decide, am I going to believe that I'm capable of this thing, and am I gonna give it a try? You gotta give yourself credit where credit's due and allow yourself to try things. A lot of people, I think, get stuck not trying things because they think they're not going to be good at it, but how will you know if you never try? And anyway, you're not supposed to be good at everything immediately. That's usually not how things work. Part of the human experience is learning and growing in that way and in that process. And when you don't give yourself the chance because you're insecure, you're afraid it's not going to be any good, then you're going to limit yourself so much. And at the end of your life, you're not going to be like, man, I'm so glad I didn't try those things. Instead, you're going to be thinking, I wish I had done more and tried more. And actually lived life. And picked up that hobby or that instrument or that routine and gave it a shot. Your dream life, so to speak, isn't just going to manifest randomly. You have to, do the necessary steps to get there. And usually when we have dreams, they're big things that require work. It's not just going to fall into our laps. Especially in this day and age, things are kind of crazy and the world is more competitive and things are typically more negative, we're not just going to have our dreams handed to us. And even if you are one of the few people who get lucky like that, it's not usually worth it, because then you don't truly appreciate it when you get there, because you're like, well, I don't have any hard work behind this to make me proud or more excited. And there was no wait that made it feel exciting, Because when you've had to work and wait for something, when you finally get it, you're so much more happy about it, because you see the work and the hours in your past that you put in to that situation. So when you finally arrive at that goal or that dream or that destination, you're like, hey, I worked to get here, and here I am. And I think, you gotta keep that in mind. And I think sometimes people also don't work towards the things they want because they feel like it's going to take forever, or like it's going to be impossible, and they have the kind of all or nothing mindset. And sure, there's a certain glory to that, if you can call it that, but I mean, go big or go home or whatever, is not really a realistic point of view. Most good things are things that take time, after all, and things that were honestly worked towards. And things that you found meaning in every step of the way there. Little steps and consistency is what's going to get you places. Usually bearing down and possibly hard and making your life harder in that way is not going to get you there, because you're going to get burnt out and tired, and when you're presented with those challenges in the moment, you're not going to end up thinking, hey, is this even worth it? Because you're going to be having a hard time. Whereas if you take like a more realistic approach and you're slow and, baby steps, so to speak, it feels doable, and every day you get a little bit more done and a little bit more done, and you have, feasible, tangible progress to look at, rather than just everything kind of blowing up at once. And anything worth doing is worth doing right, and usually that means taking time and being intentional. Not rushing, not trying to do it all at once. You're human, not a machine. You're not an AI, thank goodness. And part of being human is enjoying the process. I guess one thing that would be helpful to talk about is, how do we stay positive and hopeful and just happy in general with all that's going on in the world? And the main thing to just be making sure you're managing, where you're putting your thoughts and what you're allowing yourself to dwell on. Because then there's a difference between ignoring versus managing, and being mindful of what you think on, because what you think on and what you dwell on is going to affect your mind over time, and so you need to be mindful of that. And thinking about the things of the world that are bad and scary isn't going to make them change. It's just going to stress you out more, and the good parts of your life are going to slowly ruin if you just keep thinking about everything bad. That's no way to live at all. If you're a more hands-on type of person, you could also try and do some things that would, slowly better the world, like volunteering or donating to organizations and charities and stuff. And also just trying to help people in your daily life. Because, we all have struggles of our own, and if you have active struggles like right now, you're more aware of that than anybody, that sometimes an interaction from a stranger even can really make a difference. And I know you're glad when strangers around you smile at you, or share kind words, or just are positive and kind. And if you're happy when they do that for you, then I hope that you can remember that you can do the same thing for somebody else. We're all just human at the end of the day, and we all share that connection, no matter where we're from, or what we believe, or which way we lean, or whatever. We're all just human at the end of the day, We're all gonna be, buried in the same earth. We all breathe the same air. There's no reason to be hostile with one another, whether somebody agrees with me, whether it's politically, religiously, or whatever, whether they agree with me or not, I'm still gonna be kind to them. Just because somebody is different than me doesn't mean that's an excuse for me to be cruel, or unforgiving, or mean, or just anything, that's... And if you think that people who are different than you deserve to be scrutinized or disrespected, then I hope you'll do a little, soul searching and realize, hey, that's not going to help anything, and that's not what the world needs. If we were all kinder and loved each other and looked over the things we didn't like about each other, then the world would be a lot better. In quite a few ways. Make sure you're also putting good things in your daily life. Like, you know, it doesn't have to be anything crazy, but just things that make you happy, like little hobbies and interactions, whatever it might be. Things that are beneficial for you. You know, make sure you're taking care of your health so that that'll reflect onto others, and, you know, you can't pour from an empty cup. So make sure that your cup is filled, so to speak. You know, you're doing things that are good for you. I think one thing that typically can create a lot of chaos is just people expecting things from others that they themselves don't do. So I guess hypocrisy, to some aspect. You know, why expect something from somebody else when you yourself aren't doing it? If that makes sense. Like, if you get mad at people for not controlling their anger issues or something, yet neither do you, I mean, that's hypocrisy, and it's kind of quite ridiculous to expect things from others that you yourself don't do. It doesn't give you a place to decide or to be angry about what others do when, you know, you might be doing the same thing. You know, with me, I try and keep things in check. Like, if this person does something that annoys me, do I do that same thing sometimes? Do I elicit that response from others? I mean, maybe, maybe not, who knows? So, you know, self-reflect before you make a choice or a judgment. Because, you know, as mature adults, or however old you are, just a mature, good person in general, you should make sure that you're, you know, keeping things in check. And I just took an accidental screenshot. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have a lot to say about that, other than just, you know, the hypocrisy people have. It just makes me quite irritated when I see people do that so blatantly. I'm like, you gotta, you know, keep yourself in check before you're getting ticked at people for same things you do. Does that look horrendous? I feel like low-key kind of does. That doesn't look that bad. We'll go with it. I think I want to yap a little bit about something I've been trying to remind myself of more lately. I feel like as humans, we struggle with our view of ourselves. And, you know, some of us are way too overly confident, and some of us are nowhere near the amount of appreciation for ourselves that we should be. And, you know, there's a healthy amount that you should have. I think, for me, I've always struggled with insecurity and not feeling important. Some of that is because of some people throughout my life, ever since I was a kid, who made me feel that way. Some of it is just, you know, my own issues, I guess. But, you know, that's something that I can slowly work through and have been actively trying to deal with over the years. But one of the things that really helps me and makes me feel good about myself is my community. I'm so grateful for some of them, well, all of them, but some of the things that the people have told me that just made me feel so happy to be me. And there's very few things, well, I don't know, decent, not a huge amount, I'll say. There's not a huge amount of things that make me feel that way, like, that make me happy to be me, like, just proud to be me. And some of the things that I've been told throughout this journey so far from people who I don't even really know. You know, people online that have told me these things about how I've helped them or made a difference and made them smile. And some people have told me, you know, how I've helped them with whether it was like suicide or, you know, anything relating to mental health. Knowing that I made a difference is just huge to me. And, you know, that's my goal in life ever since I was little. I've just wanted to help people. And so when I see that, especially in such big deals like the depression and suicide that people are struggling with, you know, hearing that I helped just by talking and playing a silly block game, you know, makes me feel really special. And I'm glad that I'm here on this earth. If, you know, if the only thing I'm here for is to save that one person's life, then that's worth it. You know, I mean, I pray all the time that God would lead me to the right people that need me. And I feel like in quite a few circumstances, God has done that for me. He's shown me who needs me. And, you know, it's not anything drastic. You know, I'm not out there in the front lines fighting for the country. I'm not volunteering in mental institutions or anything huge. You know, I'm just being honest. I'm being me. I'm sharing encouragement. And, you know, that's enough. I share what's on my heart and I share what I've gone through and what I've learned. And sometimes that's what people need. And I'm really glad that I have gone through some things that I've gone through so that I can then turn around and share it with people and they can learn and slowly get better. I remember, if I remember, I'll link the video in the description, but I have made a video where I was responding to some of my viewers' stories and requests for advice, and one of them had told me that I was one of the reasons why she hadn't, or I don't know what you are. It was one of the reasons that they hadn't attempted suicide in a while, and to be one of their reasons that they've been stronger is just huge, and that really made me tear up because that's huge to me. Man, I'm getting so distracted now because I always get so like, when I'm talking about this. But it's just huge. And, you know, if I can make a difference just chatting. Oh, crap. Oops. Make a difference just chatting with people, then you, the person watching this, you never know what difference you can make. You might think that the things you can do are insignificant, but to somebody else, they're everything. So I encourage you to never not try something just because you think it won't make a difference. You never know to somebody else how much something could mean. So always try. Always, always, always. Now, in the world of negativity and everything, don't be somebody's reason to have more of it. Be somebody's reason that their life was made a little easier. I mean, why would you want to do anything else but that? You know? This would probably work better if it was a black one. I don't know if I have one, though. Let's go on a little journey. Let's find one. Sorry for no pretty shaders, by the way. Normally I have shaders on, but I'm using a different mod right now. No shaders running, unfortunately. Let's see. I don't know if anybody sells music discs. Oh, this looks new. Am I crazy? No, that's been here. That's been there. Let's see what's going on here. Ooh. Rock lights. I forgot about those. I don't think anybody sells any. Yeah, I think I'm out of luck. There is somebody over here though who has a bunch of chests, and they have one labeled trash, so let's see if I can dumpster dive. See if there's anything in here. No. Anybody? What is that? Oh, banner patterns. Forgot that was a thing. Oh, Enderman. Yo! That's so cool. If you don't know, my character is an Enderman species called an Enderling, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, everything else is actual stuff. That's just their trash bin. Something that I was thinking about quite a lot, or at least earlier this year, was enjoying where you are rather than waiting to be where you want to be to enjoy things. You know, you waste a lot of time by waiting for a different circumstance. Like, oh, I'll be happy once I graduate college. I'll be happy once I meet a partner. I'll be happy once I gain or lose this weight. I'll be happy once I get this figured out. I'll be happy once I change jobs, blah, blah, blah. You know, if you're always in the mindset of waiting to be happy when something happens, I mean, you're gonna keep wishing your life away. And a lot of times to keep myself, you know, aware of that, I'm like, okay, the end of my life, am I gonna look back and be like, man, I'm glad I did that? No. I'm gonna be sad that I wasted time waiting for different circumstances to, quote unquote, allow myself to be happy. You know, there's no rule anywhere that says you can't be happy in this job, or you can't be happy if you're single, or you can't be happy if you're whatever, you know? You gotta be happy while you're here, because eventually we're not gonna have any here anymore, and, you know, we gotta enjoy things now while they're still here. You know, that quote that says, it's not the destination, it's the journey? You know, I mean, it has some truth to it. You gotta be grateful for where you are. Make the most out of every situation, because I promise you, if you don't, one day you will regret it and you'll be sad that you wasted time. Oh, I know somebody has to sell quartz, right? What's this? Coffee shop sort of thing, candles and name tags. Oh, I've never been in here before. This is cute. Scented candles. Oh, this is so cool. Fresh linen, coconut, vanilla. These are so cute. I love that, actually. I don't need candles, but do I? Pine trees. I might have to come back here and get some candles. This is the back of my shop, at least one of my shops. The other one is this little flowery tent back here that I built in the first few days of the server. Kitty's Nature Shop. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot in here. Half of it's been bought out, so. Yo, Cozy's on. This is just tridents and sponges, I think. We could always rob that. Yeah, as I'm looking for quartz, back to the subject of being happy in the process, you know. Think of it as like a road trip. You know, you're on the way to somewhere, obviously. But while you're on the way, usually, at least in my experience, you try to enjoy it. And, you know, maybe you bring a book to read, or you download videos to watch, or music to listen to, stuff like that. And, you know, you try to enjoy the process, because it's part of that journey. So do that in school, in your fitness journey, in your relationship status, in anything. I promise you, you're going to be happier if you're intentional about that and trying your best to pay attention and be mindful. Ooh, finally some music playing. There we go. I was wondering why I was so crusty looking. One other thing I want to chat about is just general encouragement. Because, you know, there's not a whole lot of it going around sometimes, and I know that I'm probably just a stranger to you, unless you're one of my regulars here. But, because you are a human, because you share the same earth, because you were created by the same God, whether you believe in it or not, that's okay. You are somebody that I care about. And, you know, I don't make content like this for no reason. I'm not just making it for giggles, you know, it's not like I get thousands and thousands of views, you know, I'm just humbly here. And that's all I need. And, you know, I genuinely do care. And I hope that you're doing well wherever you are. Forgive me for stuttering, it's almost 2 a.m. I just felt inspired to get on here and chat. But like I said, I do care, and I hope that you're doing well, and I hope that you'll remember the good things that people say and the good things that do actually float around this world, they apply to you too. You don't have to be a certain type of person, and you don't have to look a certain way for the good things to apply to you. You don't have to wait to change. You don't have to wait for anything. You are allowed to be happy now. You are allowed to enjoy life. You don't need permission from anybody, but if you've been waiting for it, here it is. You are allowed to be happy. And I really hope that you will try and do your best. Because you owe it to yourself, and you owe it to the little kid inside of you who dreamed of certain ways of life. No, when we were little, I feel like we all pictured certain things, and... Oh, we have a visitor? Hello-y? Hi.
Hi!
Howdy. Just put proxy chat back on, so everything's kind of quiet. Hang on.
Oh yeah, you're very, very quiet.
Is that better?
No.
Is this better?
I have you on 300.
What?
Also sounds like you're underwater.
Is that better?
Yeah, there we go.
It was on my default MacBook laptop.
That's what it is. I'm on my headset mic right now. Just take what you need out of that.
I literally just need like, oh my gosh, you have a lot. I need like 6 stairs and 3 normal logs.
My mansion is built out of quartz. I got a lot.
Okay. This is all I needed. It took 6 stairs and 6
I don't
normal
care.
blocks. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Building a little thingy back here. I'm gonna make a little music room back here. So there's my guitar.
Very nice,
Kinda
very
goofy
nice.
looking, but it's a guitar in my heart, and that's all that
There's
matters.
gotta be a better way.
It's fine. I'll look into it. But I'm making a video right now. I'm just doing a little live chat in Minecraft, and figured why not.
Well, I hope it was recording on your good mic.
Yeah, it was. I set up the proxy chat on my default one because I just downloaded it a little bit ago.
Ah, yeah.
But thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye. Okay, homies. Like I was saying, yeah, you don't need permission. You can be happy now. I promise. All you gotta do is try. And try to allow yourself to be happy regardless of what's going on. I know some people might really feel like they don't deserve to be happy. Because maybe you feel like you've done bad things, or like you're just not a good person, or maybe somebody has treated you like you don't deserve that. And as a human, sure, we all do bad things. So, you know, of course, you do need to work and try to be better in the ways that you recognize yourself as being bad, so to speak. You know, we owe it to ourselves and to the world around us to be the best versions of ourselves, but in that process, be good to yourself. There's no reason to beat yourself up. All you need to do is recognize where you're lacking in your behavior or who you are, and slowly work on that. You know, treat yourself how you would treat a friend. You know, be proud that you recognize your shortcomings, and be proud that you're working on it. Because beating yourself up about it makes literally, it does not help anything. It doesn't help anybody. So, you know, you need to realize that. Oh gosh, there's 2 of them now. But you know, just think about that. And life is a journey. We're gonna learn a lot. We're gonna change a lot. The one thing that's not gonna change is the fact that we gotta just be good to ourselves and to others. You're gonna save a lot of trouble in life by being good in any degree that you can. Not just for personal gain, but for the others around you too. And at the end, it kind of comes back full circle because, you know, what you give, you end up kind of receiving. Some people call it karma. I don't know. Whatever you want to call it. You know, things have a way of coming back around. So make sure that you're putting out good into the world. Because why would you want to do anything else? Why would you want to add more to the badness that's in the world? Oh gosh, I have a little conundrum here. I wanted to add trapdoors on the top as well. Does that look okay? I guess that's okay. To give the illusion, we'll just put planks here. Yeah, that's okay. Don't know why I can't make rails. Yes. We'll just do that for now. Need to figure out how to make rails. If there's anything you guys have been thinking or wanting to talk about, oh my gosh, get him. Okay, that's it working. But anything you guys, oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh. Oh no! Oh my gosh. Oops. What the heck? Where'd he go? Did bro just leave? Is he down here? Oh, I broke a stair. I didn't even know it. Did he just leave? Are you serious? What if he took some stuff with him? Is he wearing any of my armor? There's my picks. Let's see what these little guys went. What do you know? Say if there's anything you guys have thought about through the process of this video that you want to talk about or feedback about or anything. I mean, obviously I'm not the wisest person, but maybe I have a little bit more experience and things that I can share. You know, I've graduated college. I'm in my 20s. I have a decent amount of my life in check. Not all of it, but a decent amount of it. We're working on it. So, you know, if there's anything you want to talk about, then I'll be here. And I also will put my little Google form in the comments, which or in the description, which you can submit stories or request advice requests to. You know, I do my best to try and answer as many of them as I can, and I have it planned to answer some more of them soon, because I've been needing to. I thought there was new paintings. Oh, we're on an older version. I forgot. You know what? I don't really want paintings over here anyway. How can I make rails? Am I insane? There we go. What are they called? It's a rail. I don't know why it didn't come up, but that's okay. Now we have some little makeshift piano keys. You know what actually might work? If I put a loom back here? I think it's a loom. Let me see. Yeah, okay. Planks and string. Bet. That works. I like that. Nice. Okay, guitar is questionable. We'll come back to it. I think I want to put a little jukebox over here because I guess that makes sense. I already have one in my secret bird room over here. But I'll let these guys keep this one. I guess I'll show you the rest of my base, since we've been running around over there for quite a while. There's my own head, because of course that makes sense to have in your own house. Enchanting room, obviously. Pretty basic, pretty cozy. Big fish tank, bunch of fishies. Then downstairs we have my dining hall. This all looks so much prettier with shaders, but I don't have my shaders right now, unfortunately. It's another fish tank. I love the fishies, if you can't tell. Just a random storage and decoration. It kind of reminds me of the Hyrule Castle for some reason, not really sure why. And then here's the dining hall itself, which I think is pretty. There used to be a block here. I'm not sure why it's gone, but kind of little kitchen makey things. Don't ask me what they are, I have no clue. Big table, and on this server we can actually sit. So now I'm actually sitting at the table, so that's pretty fun. And big bookshelf. And then of course a fireplace. And this all looks so much prettier with shaders, but you get the vision. I haven't been on this server very much, so it's not a mega base or anything, but I liked building all of this. It's been pretty fun. It's one of my favorite bases I've made. I think I want to throw in something that I was talking about earlier. About giving yourself credit. One of the things that I'm guilty of is constantly moving the goalpost. And what I mean by that is, like, as soon as I achieve something that I had previously been working towards, I'm like, oh, well, what's next? What do I do next? And then I start worrying about that thing without really taking the proper time to celebrate the fact that I got where I wanted to get. And I think we all, you know, kind of fall guilty to that. Sure, we might be happy about the goal in question for a while, but I mean, we don't really give it the acknowledgement that it deserves. We're just like, well, what do we do now? And that's not how it should be. You know, properly acknowledge and celebrate the things you achieve, because if you're constantly moving the goalpost over and over, you're never going to be satisfied. And it's okay to have different aspirations and goals. That's how life is. But, you know, be happy and be content with where you get as you're getting there. I mean, if you're constantly in the state of working, achieving, and then not taking a second to appreciate it, you're never really going to be truly happy or accomplished, because you're not going to be satisfied with any of your achievements. So, you know, celebrate your achievements like you would celebrate a friend and their achievements. It all goes back to the, you know, treating yourself how you treat a friend, because you are the only person among maybe a few others who will be there for your entire life, and you are the only person who is there 100% of the time for yourself. You know, you yourself, you've seen every part of yourself. The good and the bad, and oops, I just put that in there. Oh, the good and the bad and everything in between. You know, you're the one who puts yourself to bed every night, you're the one who feeds yourself, you're the one who has all the mental choices, and if you have a job, you're the one who's working the job for yourself. You know, you do a lot for yourself. And sure, some of it is quote-unquote bare minimum, but like, sometimes that's hard, man, and I acknowledge that. You know, it's normal for the bare minimum to be hard, especially given other circumstances, whether it's the state of the world, or family drama, or mental health, whatever it is. You know, sometimes the bare minimum is hard, and it deserves to be celebrated when you do something that was hard to do. Yeah, as I wrap up this very long chat, you might have not gotten anything from it, and I have a feeling very few people actually got to the end. So if you did, let me know. And let me know if you want me to make some more of these, because I'd love to chat some more. I've always got something to say. That's one thing about me. I've always got something to say. Just, keep the positive things that I've said in mind. And if you learned anything or anything stood out to you, part of getting better and improving is reminding yourself of the things that will help you. You have to make a habit somehow. So every day, intentionally, even with small steps, remind yourself of the things that you want to be reminded of, the good things. And remember that you will get there eventually, wherever there is for you. You wouldn't tell a friend that there's no hope, so don't tell yourself that. Don't you dare tell yourself that. Matter of fact, don't you dare tell yourself that. You don't deserve to be spoken to that way. Why diminish yourself when you could, push yourself and encourage yourself? Because that's going to help you get farther, I promise you. A lot of what we do starts in the mind and being positive. So besides the basics of, eating and drinking well and sleeping and, everything that is good for you, like exercise and sunlight, besides all of those things, make sure you're doing the other things. When you see you need things to change to help your mental health, work on that. When you see there's things you need to improve about yourself, not just for your own well-being, but for those around you, work on that. And in the process, be gentle and kind to yourself, because you're going to get farther that way, you're going to feel better about it, and you're just overall going to be more positive. And who doesn't want to feel more positive and just better in general? You can do anything you put your mind to. There are very few things that we can't achieve if we just keep trying. Failures aren't a sign that you're not going to make it. Failures are a sign that you're getting closer. It's like that quote about making the light bulb. Whenever he failed in making the light bulb, he didn't say that he was failing. He just found ways how not to make a light bulb, which ended up leading him to how to make a light bulb. If you know what I'm talking about, that's good. If not, I sound crazy, but that's fine. Half of this was, well, all of this was recorded from like 1 to 2 a.m., so take what I say with a grain of salt if some of it sounds a little loopy or out there. But I hope you're having the best day or night possible, and if not, tomorrow is a new day. Just like when we don't know when bad things are going to come, we also don't know when good things are going to come, so rather than expecting the worst, hope for the best. Change your perspective. Perspective is everything. Keep your heart and mind and your eyes on positive, good things. Feed yourself good things. Food sure is, it's what we eat. But to a certain degree, it's also what we watch, what we read, what we think, what we see on social media. So monitor that. It affects you more than you might think. Being careful of what you put in your body isn't just food. It's what you consume visually. Or audibly. Not everything is in our control, but what is in your control is, up to you to make sure you're making the best decisions. Look at this. Got a pretty sunset coming up. Perfect little way to end the video. Look at that. So yeah, guys, as I fly into the horizon, I hope that something I said here gave you some hope and some motivation and just some positivity. I know life is hard, but it can also be good too. So I hope it'll continue to stick around to see what it has in store for you, because you deserve to see the good. And I'll be right there with you. We're under the same moon, under the same sun. We're all connected. You're never truly alone, so there's always somebody to reach out to, me included. One day, I promise you, you'll be able to look back and realize it was all worth it, so don't give up. By the way, if you'd like to see who built all of these amazing things over here, I'll link his channel in the description. He's my buddy Chunkpurse, who was in MCC Rising 3 with me. Amazing builder. Oh, there's Cozy. Didn't mean to kind of just jump scare him there right as he came out from being AFK. That's funny. But yeah, there's a lot that this life has to offer. It's not always so bad. I love you, I care about you, and I believe in you. And sometimes all you need is one person to believe in you. Sometimes that one person is yourself. So remember, give yourself credit, hope for the good, and you survived 100% of your bad days, and you will keep on surviving. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.